Hello, and thank you for joining us today as we take a look at Rethink's Inclusion Library. The Inclusion Library was designed to support educators who are working with students in regular general education settings, in inclusion settings, in self-contained settings but working on building skills for movement to a less restrictive setting, and for those who are utilizing the RTI framework for student success. The Inclusion Library is split into 4 domains: social communication, group participation, study skills, and peer interaction. We will talk about each of these areas in more detail later on in the presentation. In each lesson, there are lots of resources to help and support you. The first is that each lesson will provide you with IEP goal language to help you with choosing appropriate skills for goals to teach. It will also save you lots of time in writing your IEP goal. Now you have a goal and 3 objectives that you could copy and paste directly into your IEP. You could also access lesson plans designed to support you in providing quality, best practices in your classroom. What is unique about these lesson plans is that they are divided into 3 levels for strategies that could be used with your students regardless of level of support needed. Level 1 contains strategies for students who need the least level of support. In this example, for copying from the board, strategies include using coding, designated areas, teaching in steps, and revealing information gradually. Level 2 contains strategies for supporting your students who may need a little more assistance and structure to be successful. In this example, you will see strategies including reviewing work and using visual supports. Level 3 are strategies for your students that need the most support in your classroom. These students need the most structure and intervention for them to be successful. Lesson plans will also provide helpful hints as well as sample IEP goal language. These are great documents to use with your own planning system, with any assistance to help them learn how to implement strategies, for parents who may need extra support at home, as well as for those students who have multiple supports throughout the day. These are great to share for teaching consistency across the team. The Inclusion Library will also provide printable materials to accompany skills that you are using with your students. These materials are printable, savable, and downloadable to save you time from searching for new material or creating your own. There are lots of great materials, visual cues, checklists, games, monitoring charts, and other supports. If the lesson has printable materials, you can click directly on the tab in the lesson details to access. Knowing what supports to provide your student and what level is an important component of effective instruction and intervention. The Rethink Inclusion Library contains best practice video models that will assist you and help your classroom teams to implement effective strategies to support your students. Just like we saw with the lesson plans, the Inclusion Library videos are also divided into 3 levels. Level 1 strategies provide support for those students who are more independent but still need your assistance to be successful. Level 2 strategies provide more structure and involvement. Level 3 strategies provide the most structure and may require individual attention to implement effectively so your student can learn new skills. These are great examples of how different levels of support strategies can help your students. So let's talk about the 4 different domains and the lessons that are in the Inclusion Library. The first area is study skills. These are skills a student needs to study and learn effectively. They are an important set of transferable life skills. Some of the skills you'll find in the Inclusion Library for this domain include completing math problems, copying from the board, following along with the lesson, keeping organized, paying attention to the teacher, recalling information, responding to peer tutoring, and taking notes. The next domain is social communication skills. These skills can sometimes be the biggest challenge in schools for students. Social communication plays a very important role in a student's emotional health and well-being. Students with language problems often have trouble socially due to their inability to say what they need to say, tell jokes or understand the current jargon or idioms their peers use. It's important to address social skills similar to how we address learning problems. Social incompetence can sometimes be more debilitating and detrimental to success in life than learning problems. The students who have the most social difficulty at school are often rejected by their peers, bullied, laughed at, or teased. The many basic social and communication skills can be found in the Abilities Library in Rethink. However, additional skills included here are having a conversation, indicating completion of a task, raising hand to ask for help, raising hand to ask questions, and recalling experiences. The next domain is peer interaction. Peers can provide important support to students with special needs or skill deficits. If you are teaching in an inclusive classroom, all students have the chance to interact, providing friendships and natural learning opportunities for the student with special needs, but also providing typically developing students a chance to interact with peers of varying abilities. Students who can appropriately interact with their peers can help with decreasing bullying, promote friendship building and acceptance, and opportunities to learn new social and interactive skills that can be transferred to the life outside of school. In Rethink's Inclusion Library, some of the skills in this domain include demonstrating assertiveness, helping others, imitating a peer, maintaining personal space, self-monitoring, and playing with peers. This last domain is group participation. This is an important skill for your students to have both in and out of the school environment. Much of what your students will do in life, whether it be social, academic, recreational, or vocation, involves working or participating in some type of group. The ability to participate in a group setting promotes skills like active learning, peer support, smooth transitions, social support, and social modeling. Some of the skills you will find in the Rethink's Inclusion Library for this domain include following classroom routines, following multi-step instructions, giving a presentation, lining up or transitioning, responding vocally in a group, responding with fluency, waiting for an activity, or working in a group. So that brings us to the end of our Inclusion Library overview. Hopefully you saw specific skills, resources, and strategies that you could use to support the students in your classroom. Thank you for joining us.